And that's what we want you to understand. You are so accustomed to looking at what is and looking at what is. So we want to make this powerful statement to you. Because what is so vivid. Even if it's something that you don't want. You don't want to hear that noise. When what is so vivid, you often don't let yourself look or focus otherwise, because what's vivid is so big. It gets so much of your attention. But if you will consider along with us what's going on in what you must have to call the background. That's the only words that Esther could, the underground, the background, the unseeable, but not the unknowable. You can feel that it's there. You can feel it. You can even hope it. You can even wonder about it. But as you loosen up a little bit and you don't let the now reality dominate your every thought, and the clash of this reality and this reality, that's where most people are. I don't like that, and 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 I don't like that more than I don't like that, and I really don't like that, and I really don't like that, and I don't like that, and I really don't like that. But I hope things get better. And that's not a very strong basis for allowing things to get better. And so then Esther remembered, after this wonderful creation happened for her, it's like her heart is singing as loud as it ever sung. She can feel the power of what she really wanted and how it was in the process of coming to be for her, even though there was still static in her ear, static in her ear, static in her ear. She could feel that something else was going on. If you remembered years ago, it was one of the first stories that we ever told you all that would be something that would be a wonderful way for you to create something different than what you are usually creating. And Esther saw just a piece of a movie. She didn't even know what the name of it was at the time. Turned out the movie is Delirious. It's an old movie, John Candy. And he is a screenplay writer or a soap opera writer. And he got this typewriter. We are really making this a short story, and it may not be completely accurate, but mostly is. He got a typewriter that turned out to be sort of magical. And as he would write the screenplay for these actors that he was writing for, whatever he wrote started happening in his life. And we explained at the time, that's really what happens for you if you will let it. If you will write the story that you want rather than the story that you are living. And you will do it with a light enough touch that you don't challenge yourself constantly. In other words, this man had a very light touch because he was writing for something that he thought was fiction. So he wasn't challenging it with his beliefs. He was just writing it the way he wanted. And so the main character had wonderful things happen. And everything that he wrote for these characters began happening to him. So much so that he really wrote good stuff for all of those characters. We know this sounds fictional and it sounds silly. But it is a way for you to understand that you get what you think about whether you want it or not. And if you are facing reality all of the time, then you don't let your reality move very far from what it is. It's different faces and different places, but it's basically the same old thing keeps happening to you. Where once you understand that every time you stand in this glorious contrast and you see something unwanted, sometimes it's a little unwanted and sometimes it's outrageously unwanted. When you see that, it raises that end of the vibrational stick, and on the other end is the equivalent opposite. With the intensity, it's like a known quantity. Like you don't have to explain what love feels like when you're in the middle of hate. Because you know, you can feel. It's obvious to you the absence of this feels like you don't have to even put words to it. It's like the stick knows. It's like the other end of the duality knows. And your inner being is always immediately on the end of the stick. When you know what you don't want, your inner being knows more clearly than ever before what you do want, and gives undivided, unequivocal, non-contradicted, pure, positive attention to what you want. And that's why you've got static in your head. Because you said, I want it, and your inner being took you at your word, and your inner being that is the dominant part of you focuses only on that, and when you don't, you make static. And if you keep it up, it sounds louder and louder, and if you keep it up, then it becomes physical discomfort or whatever it is. That's all that it is. And so we know we're asking you to take a little trip from your normal reality. Not be an observer of reality, but be a creator of it. Be a decider of it, like you were born to be, like you are all the time. Be a decider of it, and then be a sensor. Let your inner being call you to it, because it's attraction. It's attraction, attraction, attraction. It's attraction, attraction, attraction. It's attraction, it's attraction, it's attraction. It's attraction. You know, when you get a great idea, when an idea occurs to you, where do you think it came from? It came from your vortex. And you say, oh, I just got the best idea. Where do you think it came from? You were ripe and ready. You were close to the reception of it. And it got big enough and you got near enough that you heard it, you felt it, you knew it.